Let's go over some basic tags together, and of course you can also download and use the handout that I've provided to work with HTML. When you set up a new document in Komodo Edit or pretty much any editing program, it's going to provide you with the most basic skeleton of an HTML page. That's going to include the doc type, which you can see is in brackets. It'll include the HTML tag, which surrounds everything else. So the first tag worth talking about in some detail is the head tag, H-E-A-D, and every HTML page will have one. And I think the easiest way to think about it is the information that's important for your page to function, but not the information that you see, not the information that displays. And so some examples of child tags within the head tag are links to external style sheets or JavaScript files. The title that appears in your browser window is within the head tag. There's something called a meta tag, which we'll talk about a bit later on, which provides information about the page, such as the description that pops up in Google if you Google a page. Obviously, you don't see that in the browser window, but it belongs in the head tag. The head tag comes first in an HTML page structure, and after that is what's called the body tag, B-O-D-Y. And the body tag is what you do see in that browser window. So easy rule is if you want something to appear on the page, you need to make sure it's written inside of the body tag. So what are some common tags that you would write content with? The first one is the paragraph tag, P. This is the most common way to present text online. You'll use it a lot. Sort of a cousin of the paragraph tag are H1 through H6. So H1, H2, H3, H4, H5, H6. And these at one point back in the 90s had built-in values. So H1 was bigger than H2 and H2 was bigger than H3. They still do, but that's not how you'll use them. You'll use them instead as ways to divide up your text a little bit. The next tag to talk about is A, and A stands for anchor, but you're much more likely to think of it as a link. And for an A tag to work as a link to an outside website or to another page on your website, it's going to have an attribute href, href. So href equals where the link is going. IMG is the image tag, and it is almost always associated with several distinct attributes. Source is one, that's src equals quote, and then where the source of your image is in your project folder. Alt, A-L-T, equals quote, is a way of giving that image a name, and that's something that's useful for people who perhaps can't see very well and they use certain programs to read web pages in that way. And almost always images have a height and a width attribute, both of which are in pixels.